Hi everyone, welcome to Toronto, and good evening everyone. And again, new episode, new show, and I'm your host Max on Max F. Again, today we are going to talk about the two test matches happening, one in Sri Lanka in England, and then the series decider in Brisbane, Australia versus India. So hopefully the discussion will be uh, maybe interesting and see what's happening. And exactly, we are gonna touch base what happened in third test as well in Sydney. So let me start with my sponsors, and then I will introduce my all of my guests. So my first sponsor for the day for this show is RSEC Sports. If you're in Toronto in GTA, please, and if you're looking for any sports equipment, especially cricket equipment, please contact our second sports. Sultan Khan is the name of the person. He owns this shop and he's part of our panelists as well. Please contact him 647-461-3110. And you can also email him info@rsegisports.com. अगर आपको किसी भी किस्म की चीज़ की स्पोर्ट्स इक्विपमेंट की यूनिफॉर्म बैट्स हेलमेट सो प्लीज कांटेक्ट सुल्तान भाई 647-461-3110. My second sponsor of the show tonight is Faizan Law Firm, Faizan Law Professional Corporation, a full services law firm, expanding our expertise because you matter to us. And if you have, he's a specialization in family law, immigration law, wills and estate law, real estate and property law, and civil and criminal litigation. And if you want to contact him, please call him 905-277-2555. And please, you can visit on his own website as well, www.fezanlaw.com. अगर आप कोई भी किसी किस्म की लॉ सर्विसेज फर्म्स की आप अगर सर्विस रिक्वायर्ड है तो प्लीज कॉन्टेक्ट फैजान मोहम्मद फजाद फैजान वी कॉल हिम MWF and his phone number is 905-277-2555. And my third sponsor of the day is your Honda guy, Mohammad Rameez. If you are looking for any new car or old car, Mohammad Rameez is the guy. So you can go and visit him, Brampton Classic Honda dealership in Brampton. You can even call him 416-569-7249. If you're a student or new immigrant, or if you are on work visa, or if you are looking for any credit challenges while getting a new car, please contact Mohammad Rameez with reference of his sports trend. He's famous with the name of Your Honda Guy. Please contact him 416-569-7249. Okay, so let's start the show. Let me introduce my tonight guest. Oh, too many people. Okay, some are old faces, some are new ones. Okay, hi everyone.
What's up, Max?
Hey Jeff, how are you?
Good, buddy. How are
Who's
you?
playing mute? I'm doing good. Thanks for joining one more time. Hey Martin, I think you are mute. Whose music is in the background? I think it's Jeff. Oh, okay, yeah. Hey Martin, I think you are mute right now.
Hey, how's it going? Good to see you,
Good.
Max.
How are you, man?
Yeah, keeping well. So much cricket going on. Pretty exciting.
So much credit. Okay, we will talk. We will touch base. We will start with England and Sri Lanka series. Then definitely we will go with the Australia and India as well. Yes, Farrukh bhai, Assalamu alaikum.
Pretty exciting.
So much credit. I think you are mute.
Okay, I'm back. Thank you, Jeff. Well, we are back into the show after a break of few days. You know, we let the team
72 hours.
rest and we rest too. So
Sure.
good to be back on the show.
Thank you. Thank you. So I would like to invite welcome Mohammad Faizan. Ji Faizan bhai, how are you, man?
I'm well, Max. How are you? You are the real star. You are the real
I
star.
am the real star. We definitely we're gonna talk about who are the stars and who are the what is going on. Definitely we will. I have something to show you guys as well. I was working on that.
Again.
So Faizan,
Again.
welcome. Yes, again. So I would like to also present my two regular panelists, Sajjad bhai and Sultan bhai. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
How are you?
Max.
Doing quite well. Doing quite well.
Good,
Long
good.
time
Thank
no,
you.
long time no see after 72 hours. How do you feel?
I feel wonderful. I got up in the morning because I'm out of habit to check out the England scores. And then I was like, you know what? It's too early. I had to go back to sleep. I checked out the highlights later.
Okay, that's nice. So I would like to invite one of our new guests on the show, Sabis. Hey, Sabis.
Hey, how are you, Max?
I'm doing good. How are you, man?
I'm good. I'm good.
So Sabis, our show, since you are joining us first time, so can you please introduce yourself? You play cricket. Introduce yourself. In cricket, what do you do? Which club you represent for, and which club you used to represent? Something like that. And then from where you from and why you are here. I mean, I know you why you are here. So just introduce. Yes, please.
Hey guys, my name is Sabis. I'm from Sri Lanka, and I moved to Canada in 2006 after a tsunami happened. So I've been living here for almost 15 years. Started playing cricket almost 10 years now, and I played for Centurions in Toronto divisions, and then now I'm playing with Mississauga Dolphins. And I went last year to play in Sri Lanka, and then because of Corona, everything was locked down. So now I'm back in Canada.
That's good. So Sabis, let's start with you are here. I mean, let's start with Sri Lanka versus England. I mean, first day England lose the toss, and I think is this in the last six Test matches they lost the first. They lost the first test in every last five Test matches. I think I was looking at their record. So what do you think? Sri Lanka, I think they wasted their the winning toss. And what do you think? What's Tell me about the pitch of the Galle, how the pitch act like this without for the Test matches.
I think Sri Lanka's they're not prepared for this test match because since last year was lockdown, they had a LPL recently, so they haven't played enough first class cricket since last year. So I think that's the reason that they're struggling. And coming from LPL 2020 to 5 days, it's gonna be tough for them. So maybe give them another few more tests. They'll be back in track. Yeah.
Sure. So I would like to take some input from Martin. Martin, do you think England losing the toss and it's a benefit for them, or I mean, share your thoughts for the first day.
Yeah, I mean, we always seem to lose the toss and lose the first Test match of a series. So I don't know. I'd like to say England bowled well, and they did in part, but I think Sri Lanka really gave the game away a bit in the first day. I watched the first part, and I kind of fell asleep when Matthews and Chandimal were batting it back, and they looked really good. Two very experienced players, right? I thought they were going to push Sri Lanka up to a decent total, and for both of them to get out as well I think Sri Lanka will be kicking themselves a bit. England are also a little underprepared. So for Sri Lanka to only get 135, I was reading that's the lowest first innings score in Galle ever. So they must be a bit disappointed with that. I mean, as an England fan, I can't be pretty much best day you could ask for, really.
Well, Stuart Broad had a big part to play. I didn't expect him to pick up all those wickets early. But like Subbies was saying, some of the shots seemed to show aggression that wasn't needed. I would have thought Sri Lanka would be in better shape after the series in South Africa, but maybe Subbies is right. They just don't have the mindset for Test cricket right now.
Okay. So, Sajjad bhai, I mean, can you share some thoughts? Do you think Sri Lanka intentionally batted first and wait for the fourth and fifth day? Because I think is famous for the spin wickets. Do you think there's? I mean, we will talk more about the spin bowling and everything. I'm just talking about the toss. Decision on the toss.
Yeah, they were hoping to bat at least a day and a half, put up 350, 400. I mean, they did that in South Africa. Why wouldn't they do that at home? It was a real shocker to see that. And part of it was they played some shots that were a little bit too aggressive. I also don't think they were ready for Stuart Broad to bowl so well. I felt like Stuart Broad surprised them with some nice bowling as well. But then Bess got a lot of wickets in the second half of the innings. And with, I think, what was it, Leach? Leach picked up a couple, or 1 or 2 wickets.
Yes.
And then they had a couple of lucky ones as well, where a run out happened. And you saw them play shots that you thought would be, solid cricketing shots. Like one guy, he pulled the ball and it hits the short leg, flies up in the air, and he takes the catch. Like, there were a few dismissals that I felt bad for Sri Lanka. But overall, I think England really, really deserved this. I think they bowled a good line. Like, they came in with a plan. I felt that was the big difference as well. Sri Lanka sort of reminds me of where Pakistan is at. Some good players, but not in the right mindset.
Okay. So, I mean, we will talk about Jeff. What time you are leaving? So, I want to touch base Australia first. Then we can continue over.
Yeah, I got to go. I got to go at 7:30, a little bit before. So
Okay, so let's talk about like 4 tests, and let's talk about some Sydney. I mean, let's hold the topic for England and Sri Lanka series, and let's touch base because I want some Jeff's opinion on it. So, Jeff, what do you think series decider? First of all, what's the situation right now? I mean, momentum, build it up.
well, Sajjad said it right. You jinxed Australia, Max. Have you guys ever heard of the kiss of death? It was an Aussie rules thing back home. One of the commentators used to say Melbourne had beat St Kilda, and he would put the kiss of death on the team. And I think you just did that, Max. We were chatting off air about the drop in pitch. It made a huge difference. I think that destroyed the Test match.
I think it was Kerry O'Keefe as well who jinxed Australia.
Yeah. But also we talked off air about whether India could come up for this one. Like, I think that took a lot out of them to draw that game. It's either done one or two things. They might be flat or they might be full of juice. Like, they just took a wicket. Warner was out in the second over or something. So that might have been the spark they need. I think this may be a really good test. This could be a nail biter by the end. Maybe on day 4 or day 5 when we're having a chat, we might be able to see what's going on. But
I want you to be here for next 4 days and 5 days as well, and definitely we will have a chat. I mean,
no problem. I was just saying it's going to be a good conversation coming forward through this whole test. So it depends. We talked about Stark being flat in the last test. Obviously, the young kid opener, I haven't read too much on him. I gather he's done his shoulder. That's why he's out. That's a shame.
They pushed him into the team, even though he had an injury coming into the fourth test. The third.
Really? Okay, I didn't know that.
So he fell off and then he's gone now.
So you know what? I don't know, man. He's the guy. They should have. I don't know if he's. I haven't read too much. I've been a little bit occupied, but if he's done his shoulder and that's why he's out. But if they dropped him, then that was bad selection. So,
Pawlowski, he dived and he hurt his shoulder.
Yeah,
he hurt his shoulder.
So his shoulder's out, right? Okay, so
okay.
And they want him for South Africa.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
So I want Faizan, since Martin was not there on the 5th day and everyone was there and then Nasser. So can you please just mention like what exactly we were discussing on the 5th day during the tea time? Can you just give him some like thought that why people loving me and more than you guys?
Martin, Max is just trying to show and give us a run for our money. He was the only person who said it's going to be a draw, and he ended the show on that. There was a 4-4 tie on India and Australia, and it ended up being a draw for Max. So that's what the whole gist and crux is. So just one liner. Max got us all roosted and made us a run for his money.
So Martin, I mean, did you watch the last session, or did you watch the highlights?
I watched it until the last, after kind of Ashwin and Vihari had batted 30 overs for about 3 runs. I decided I might go to bed, and then they seemed like they batted another 30 overs for 3 runs. So yeah, it was fantastic the whole day, really. I mean, I didn't expect them to do it. No chance. I didn't really give them a chance, especially after their start. But that was great. I mean, I guess you have to start listening to Max from now on. That'll be the big change.
That's what you guys doing for the last 15 days. Yes, Mama. Yes, Aamir. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the show. What do you think? The drop in pitch is the same factor, or do you have any other thing right now?
It was a drop in pitch for sure, but I think you have to give credit to Vihari and Ashwin too, because those guys batted really, really well. Probably Farrukh, it reminded Farrukh Bhai of his old days, when Test players used to bat for 30 overs and only score 3 runs. So it was like that. It was very difficult, and I think it was an uphill battle. You can see the frustration on Pat Cummins and Hazelwood's face. Even Lyon was not really feeling well at the end, but it is what it is.
Okay. Yes, Sultan bhai, welcome to the show. I want you to speak about exactly even like what time, like what situation do you think like that Max was going to be right and Max is gonna win that whatever the betting we did.
Come again, sorry.
I'm
What's the question?
asking, I'm asking when you watching the match on fifth day over there, do you think that Max is gonna win his bet, whatever
Oh,
he said it?
oh yeah, man. That drop in pitch basically surprised us all, and definitely the patience got India a draw. But it was spectacular to watch both of the guys play the way they did with complete patience. Given if Vihari did not pull his hammy, I mean, it could have been different ball game. But yeah, your prediction came true. It, so much of our analysis, but the fifth day, what was this was the surprising thing was for me was the spinner. They were not getting anything. It didn't open. The pitch didn't open that much. It used to be spinners heaven the fifth day, and now there was nothing. So altogether, like what we were predicting, and even I brought it up that I was surprised why they're playing one spinner to begin with. But now I think maybe they knew more than what we did. But these drop in pitches, man, this is gonna change the dynamic if they keep. I mean, if they stay the way they are. There was some talk, which I had brought a good point. Jeff brought a good point because with time there might be some roots to the ground, and of course the wickets tend to start playing the way they used to. And of course, Gujarat had some scientific reason behind it that because the temperatures since 2015 are not as same as before, and because of the less dew, it just doesn't disturb the pitch that much. So all these factored together, but the thing is this: we were talking from the past and history, and history taught us that the fourth, fifth day is for spinners. But after that, looking at the way it was working, I mean, we have to. First question should be before any test match: is it a drop-in pitch or is it a regular pitch? Then we'll
Okay,
give our
I will talk. We will talk about more about four test match. I want to take Nasser on this show. Nasser, hey, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Nasser, can you share some thoughts on the third test match right now? I mean, what exactly happened, and then just give me two comments on it. What went wrong with Australia, and what went good, like work with for India?
I think for Australia, it's unfortunate on the last day, obviously, as I said, the pitch was different. They sort of seemed like they were scrambling because after T they came out, they started bowling short balls and everything, and they hurt Ashwin. They hit him quite a few times. They just couldn't get him out. And I think from India's point of view, when you look at it, the fact that they were in a position to win, you could say in a way, and if certain things didn't happen, they might have pushed on. But the fact that they were able to still fight on and stay in that position that where they wouldn't lose the test match. I think it was the beauty of test cricket when you know that you're never out of it. You might not win, but throughout the series you can still draw and go for another game. And overall, I think it was a great test match. For test match cricket, it was one of the best. Just you see two guys fighting it out. They're hurt. You can see Vihari can't run. Ashwin is getting hit on his ribs, his shoulders, his arms, his elbows, and they're real warriors that day. Absolute warriors. Credit to them.
Sure. Sajjad bhai, I want to take your opinion on this. Do you think that Sydney Test match was one of the, I mean, top three Test matches in last 5 years?
That's hard to say if it was one of the top three test matches in the last 5 years because I didn't see every test match, but it's definitely one of the memorable ones. I know you only counted as a top three because it was a draw. I think in some ways the Pakistan New Zealand first test was similar. It was a really close, and if you look at it from a New Zealand point of view, they consider that one of their best test matches. And why I bring that up is there was an analysis the other night. Ian Smith and Mike Hesson, and there was a third person. She's the coach. I don't remember her name for the New Zealand women's team. And they compared the two test matches. And number one thing they said is that the sledging, it actually worked to break, like it hurt Pakistan's batting. But in India's case, the sledging made the Indian batters respond in a way that they wanted to keep playing. And one of the classic lines was Ashwin saying to Payne, if you come to India, that'll be your last series. So the Pakistanis, they reacted in a way where they got under more pressure during the sledging. And it was very friendly sledging from the New Zealanders. Like it wasn't that bad. Whereas Payne, I think he was expressing his his frustration as well, and I feel like it backfired on him. When they used to talk about mental disintegration, I don't think any of these guys compared to how the Steve Waugh, Mark Taylor, Ponting used to do it. They just don't have it in them the way the legendary Australians did. I think they have to work harder. I think the Australians have to work harder this test. But everything that they tried, Ashwin and Vihari had a chance. And no, Vihari didn't score big. I think this is a big notch in his belt.
Sure. So, Vajat, what do you think? Again, do you think that Australia didn't play like two spinners? That's why they didn't bowl out, or what happened?
I was very surprised with the Australian tactics. 45 minutes before lunch and then after lunch, the way they came out, it showed that they were rusty. And I said that on that day as well. They really missed Stark's form, because the one who sets the tone for Australian bowling specifically for the Pacers is Stark. Because if you were seeing Stark was going hit for a boundary every over, almost every over. And then Vihari just took him on, started to block him, Vihari's blocking was actually telling Stark who's the boss. Because he was not blocking to fend himself, but he was blocking to give him the confidence that he can bat against Stark with his pace, So I found Stark was not running in with a lot of confidence within himself. He should have been rested for this test, by the way, but I think the Australians are still playing with him. And that is one of the factors which trickled into the Australian bowling line. You see Nathan Lyon going 5 fielders. You have about 300 runs on the board, but you're still putting 5 fielders behind on the boundary just to save runs. Even at the end, if you look at the post-tea session, I was very surprised with the tactics of Tim Paine, the way he carried his field, keeping an open spread field. When you just have 5 wickets to pick up, it's just 5 balls. In Test cricket, 5 wickets is 5 balls. You're picking up against 200 runs India has to get. So I was surprised with Australian tactics, not to take away any credit from the Indians. The way they batted, it showed the grit. And I think one of the analysts on that day said that if India is able to pull off this test match, it will be a testament to Indian domestic circuit. And I think we should all salute to that, which we used to say some time ago for the Australian circuit. Indian domestic circuit has stood tall with this performance from Vihari and Ashwin. With bruised bodies, Ashwin and Vihari taking it on their own and on their chests, no less than medals for them. Certainly one of the greatest test saves for Indian cricket team.
Sure. Before I go, Jeff, 2 minutes. Just last input on you.
Okay, yeah, I gotta go. Sorry.
Oh, you
quickly.
Do you think that old Australian is back because the sledging what they did in last session? Do you think that they will come more high on this 4 test match? Just then we will definitely.
I'm not sure because cricket's changed. Like Sajjad talked about the old days when they used to really sledge. I just don't think there's a place for it anymore to that degree. They all seem to be mates because they play IPL and they're all competitive. Don't get me wrong. I just think the game's changed a lot. That there's no place for the really dirty stuff, if that makes sense. Try and get under their skin. I think there's a new way of doing it and still be respectful, but you just got to find a new way to sledge, if that makes sense. So yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully that answered it. So
sure. So just catch you tomorrow for sure. And if you have time, we are here for next 45 minutes. Join us or not. Let's catch up tomorrow.
Okay, I'll try and get back on if I can. Thanks, boys. Have a great night.
No worries. So let's switch our gear to Galle and let's take Sabis and Martin input on it. Before I want to take some comments on it on the show. So Hamadin Akbar, I can't see today's video either, guys, but I put a like on video. Thank you, Hamadin Akbar. I think that comment was before we went live. And Atif Kadir, salam guys, walaikum salam. Okay, Sabis, here's your president on the show. Love for Sabis. Can you spell your first name and last name, please?
Rasmagam Sabis.
And what's the hashtag? Are you your nickname is? Okay, I got it. Okay, and another here's your. I think Sabis, are you paying all of these guys? Kalpit Patel, looking good service. Are you paying for it?
Yeah, it's.
Islam.
No, I'm not paying anyone.
Hello.
Okay. So another comment from Mr. President. MWF, love your in-depth analysis. Second show of sports trend. So let me
So
clarify that
Max, look at this. Look at this. This is what he's
I
talking
know this is what he's talking about. He always active and he see like Dolphins people are on the show. He
Fazan,
always active. Else he's not
Fazan,
active.
your hoodie is here with me, and I'm gonna ban the dolphin hoodies on the show.
Do not ban the hoodies. Just ban 1%. And I'm just kidding. So Kasabai, where are you? Why are you in the dark? I want your opinion on what happened on fifth day.
So I guess
Yeah,
we've lost him. We've lost him.
He'll be
Okay.
back.
So
I think he's doing
so
some.
so Sabis, let's talk about some first test match in Sri Lanka.
Sorry guys.
Do you think
Sorry guys.
Kasabai, you're dark? I think your camera is
Your
off.
camera's
Yeah,
off. Okay.
I'm just settling my camera.
No
That's
worries.
okay. Go ahead. Keep going.
So Sabis, let's talk about first test match. Do you think that Sri Lanka is capable enough to come back in the second innings? You said like give them 3 to 4 test matches, man. That there will be like 2 or 3 series already over. Let's talk about first test match.
Yeah,
These are
I would say one game LPL, right? So
Sabis, they already played 2 or 3 test matches in South Africa, and all those test matches done in 3 days. So move from LPL, man. Focus on test match.
Sabis, it's freezing. You know.
Yeah, we can't hear Sabit.
You
Can
harassed
you
him.
reach?
He's frozen.
Okay, so Martin, let's talk about like England. Do you think like I think Wood is playing in this test match, right? Mark
Oh
Wood.
yeah, Mark Wood. Yeah, Mark Wood got the nod.
I noticed this, and I mean, someone correct me as well. Like whenever England travel Asian, Mark Wood is the one that they always prefer because of the pace. Do you think that he has the edge factor other than like Anderson or maybe I think Broad? Yes, he's a leading wicket, but I think Sam Curran. But I do think the factor of Wood in this England as Asian test matches. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean he's really needed. We've been struggling abroad for many years with just a bunch of medium pace swing bowlers, and at the moment we've luckily got a couple of good ones in Jofra Archer and Mark Wood. And Mark Wood's record overseas is quite good. He had a good series in South Africa, had a good series in West Indies, but he's always in and out due to injury. That's his big issue. I mean, look how he bowls. Every ball he basically falls over. That can't be good for your body. So, but he has a good hit. I mean, he bowled decently, even though he didn't pick up any wickets, I don't think. But I think it's a challenge. You know, England needs to find these have a reliable fast bowlers as part of their team. And I think one of their strategies for this Sri Lanka series and then going into India is to figure out what's the best bowling lineup for overseas. And it'll be different in different countries, right? And even with the Ashes around the corner, it's going to be different there. But we can't just play Broad, Anderson, Wokes, and one spinner and hope for the best. So I did like to see the selection in this test. I think it was pretty good.
I think Mark Wood, they have him in mind for the Ashes because they're going to need some more bite in the bowling next fall.
Yeah, I think it's a good point. And you just look at India, and we've now got India A bowling team playing, right? And luckily you've got a very good backup set of bowlers. If not, you wouldn't be even in the test now. I mean, so having to have like almost a second run of bowlers, that you can bring in. I mean, if you've got Jofra Archer and Mark Wood, you've got a couple of good fast bowlers. Maybe Broad and Anderson will be there too, and then a couple of other guys that can fill out the squad, right? But it's a problem, yeah.
But England has a really interesting schedule. India at home, and then the Ashes.
Yeah, I don't know why they have these back-to-back series where you go from.
Get them the vaccine right now.
Okay. Kasabai, welcome to the show. Kasabai, can you please pick one option? Sydney Test Day 5 prediction or Sri Lanka England Test match? What do you want to talk about right now? Option is on
Sydney Day 5.
Sydney Day 5. Okay, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead. Remember what happened?
Max, Brisbane Test. Brisbane.
No. Kasabai is here. I love him. I respect him. I want that sometime I can beat him off field. Yes, Kasper.
Well, everybody knows that absolutely India did wonder. It's one of their greatest test history in their history. That's for sure. There's no question about it. The guys, even Ashwin was injured. Uh, the other
Right.
guy, he was injured too. Bahari was injured too, but they stood. Uh, Sadly for Australians, as Fizan said it too, absolutely like uh, their tactics was not up to the mark. They lacked the aggression, uh, and especially what Pan did. You know, everybody we talk about, but the Pan inning was the biggest factor in saving that test because Pan took the attack back on Australians. The Australian went in their shell. They came out defensive. Where I could said like if I was the captain, I would have given all my bowlers like 3 4 overs burst every time and just only tell them to bowl full. You see the fourth or fifth, the second fifth over, I believe the
Correct.
before the last overs, the end, the where Stark bowled, he bowled full. He created
Full.
two chances,
Two chances. I
and
think they missed.
I was absolutely mad that why Stark did not bowl the whole test the full. As soon as he bowled full, the ball was swinging, it was reversing. It did started to like give all the chances, and I was wow, and that was
So,
the biggest.
Kasper, do you remember whose prediction was right? Then I moved to Sultan Bhai.
Of course, it's all Max.
Thank you.
Max, it's all yours.
Okay, Sultan Bhai, what do you think? This England always depends on the fast bowlers, but I think now in last 3 or 5 years, whenever they travel to Asia, they focus on spin bowling, and it's working well. Do you think like change of mindset that they know like whenever we travel to South Asia, let's focus on spinners and quickers, not swingers, like quickers like Mark Wood or Cam Curran maybe? Yes, share your
Yeah,
thoughts.
there's a lot of cricket nowadays that is played across the continents, and over the time they have very good knowledge base of how the pitches are going to be, what kind of bowling attack will be more effective. I think accordingly they do the adjustments, and I think one of the guys brought a very good point that when they're playing in England or elsewhere, and when they think of going to Asia, the pitches they play different, so they have to also decide what kind of squad they're going to take there. So not necessarily what works for them elsewhere would work in Asia. So I think, but again, there's a lot of stats that help such decisions. Yes, England has become a very good side over the time, and I think they have options as well. I think, I mean, going there, of course, Spain is working there, although they're more flat pitches. But if it's something that works for them, so be it. But pacer, the only reason that you would be reluctant is just because it's flat pitches, so you can get hammered around.
Sure. So Amir, what do you think? Like, why Sri Lanka batting is like getting worse and but I mean not worse. Sorry, I take my words back. I mean getting bad and weak and weak as soon as like Mahela Jayawardene, then Sangakkara, and now there's no one. Chandimal was used to be like in a spark form, like he showed some guts in when he traveled to Australia, but Sri Lanka, that's their home ground, man. I think they should have scored 300 plus.
Well, I think it's change of tactics. I think they're trying too many different things at once, and that's not working for them. Again, when you're playing against English team right now, they're one of the best sides. They're not top five, like one of the top five, right? So you have to bring your A game, and I think still from an experience point of view, I think Sri Lanka is one of the younger sides. They do have good players, but the strategy is not there. So unless they get their act together and get some strategy in place, I don't think they can win big. You've seen in the past the same thing has happened to West Indies when they went through a restructuring exercise and they lost a couple of big test matches and test series. So it's nothing new. It's just the modern cricket has changed a lot, and you have to have a strategy in place for every single session on if this fails, what will happen next. But didn't seem like they had that.
Uh,
Okay.
I just
So
want to add something on there.
yes, sir.
I I think it's just my observation that the aggressiveness, the following of Jay Surya, that's hurting their batting strategy. Instead of right now, if they follow like they have followed uh, Jayawardene or Sangakkara, they were very cool and collective. But most of their younger players, they have the spark, they have the strokes in there, but they lack to put the act together. Like when they're playing in T20 or in one day cricket, they are very aggressive. They have to put their act together. All of a sudden, the Test cricket is a totally a different beast. It's a different game. You only can go after a bat ball. You can't play your strokes openly. I believe that's what hurting them.
And
Sure.
I mean, you also have to take into the fact that Sangakkara and Jayawardene they're legends of the game. They're not players you have come around every day. And they did have one batsman at that time, Angela Matthews. He's still around, but injuries took a toll on him, where he hasn't performed to what was expected of him. He was the next Sri Lankan great in a way, who they were thinking, where he was just coming and scoring runs after. But injuries took a toll on him, and they just lost their way a bit. They're still going through a bit of a tough phase, but they do have potential. They have some good spinners, a few good pacers as well, and they started their own leagues now. So it will take time. It's not something that'll be done overnight, but it's something that can be done.
Sure. Sabis, and like as we were discussing about like how Sri Lanka batting is getting weak and weak, what do you think? Like, what exactly is missing in Sri Lankan cricket right now? You or someone else?
I wish. So
Yes.
I think they don't have a proper structures like how India has it, how England has it, county and stuff. Like Sri Lankan structures is getting like poor and poor because there's too many first class team, right? So I think they gotta minimize their first class team because since I went there last year, I was noticed a lot of things that the cricket is there, but the teams, too many teams, anyone can play for Sri Lanka first class.
Okay, so I think that's the level of standard. But Sabis, I think I remember when I met you first time on the field, like on while playing Dolphins, you were wearing England jersey, right? England hoodie.
Correct.
So Martin, see, even he's not supporting Sri Lanka, so I don't know why he's in there.
It's always good to
I
have
remember.
options. It's always
Max,
good to have options.
I remember. Yes, Fajal.
Max, I want to make a small point, and I think it is very relevant to what we are discussing with the holistic nature of the game that is taking place, and how these younger cricketing countries are not standing up tall to it. One of the reasons is that now they have coaches who have been working with different boards, so though they think that their template can work for their board as well, which I think is the wrong approach, because in cricket now, if you see Australia, if you see India, England, New Zealand, they are working on strategist model. They are having strategists who are giving them a template of the game session by session. And I think unless countries like Pakistan, Sri Lanka, West Indies, South Africa as well do not adopt the approach of having strategists who give them the template of what to follow, there should be a set tone of a group of players. You see England, they have a big bunch of test playing players, right? But they pick the best because they have the option to pick those players going overseas or going within England as well. So I think these countries, the next 4-tier countries, South Africa, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and West Indies, and even Bangladesh as well, I think they have a potential. They can stand up and can elevate any team on any given day if they play on their template as well. I think they're missing the template of a strategist, and they're also missing the approach of going for the test cricket with a centric approach, like setting up a template of score, picking up 20 wickets. We were discussing the other day, India is looking to have bowlers which can pick up 20 wickets, regardless if they score 500 or 300. 20 wickets is the game. I think, and that's in my opinion, I think that's where Sri Lanka and these other countries are faltering.
I want to take Nasser. Yes, Martin, go ahead.
I was just going to say, do you think, I mean, for me, the big part of the England's success has been the amount of money they've invested. England's received millions, and if not tens of hundreds of millions of dollars from TV revenue, and they've invested it in cricket. They've got that. Gets even more, I'm sure. Australia as well. I think you're starting to see over the last 10 years just the divergence of the rich teams, the rich countries, and the countries that don't have as much money to invest in and there's no money to invest in Test cricket. Like, who wants to be? How do you have a squad of 100 people if you don't have the money?
Funny it is, but the big three, the big three is pretty much evident in terms of the game, in terms of the revenue, and in terms of the output of results. Do not expect these 4 teams to compete well in the Test Championship or the ICC competitions if you're going to have this much of disparity in cricket.
I agree.
But I think at the same time, yeah.
No, let's go ahead. Then I have a question for you.
I think at the same time, England, they've invested their own money, Australia, but the gap between domestic and international is increasing. I think over the past few years, England have tried openers. It doesn't work out. They've had Gary Balance, who's averaging almost 50 every year in domestics. In Test cricket, there's a fault. Australia's opener now, who they've tried recently next to Warner, there's been an issue. Yeah, they have a set Test players, but the players that are coming up from domestic, they're not up to the level yet. And I think Best, after a few years of playing, now reaches his rewards after being in the setup for almost 2 years, if I'm correct or so. So the gap also between international and domestic is increasing by quite a bit.
Sure. So Nasser, what do you think? What's the game plan? Then I have a question for Sajjad as well. What's the game plan for? I mean, we talk about like how Sri Lanka is weak in the batting. How about their bowling, or England batting is like to the mark, or they will give a hard time to Sri Lankan bowlers?
I think England came with a plan, and England's executed that plan really well. Yes, obviously coming to South Asia batting, England has not had the best record, but they did win their last series as well, and they will be again trying to retain that series in Sri Lanka. Getting South Africa out for 135, getting Sri Lanka out for 135 is a huge fact. They're at home batting first, they should have done better, but England bowled better. England's batting, hopefully they can do better.
Sure. Okay, let's talk about, we have like 15-20 minutes left. Let's talk about Australia and India series. Yes, Aamir, what do you think? 4th Test match. Do you think, like I put a punchline in this show, cool Australia versus injured India? Do you think that is suited for this Test match, or do you have any other opinion on it?
Well, I don't know. There's a chance of thunderstorms Saturday, and I think there's going to be rain affecting the whole game. So there's no clear opinion who is going to be, the favorite to win this Test match. But going from the game, I think even with 2 key players down, I think India would have an upper hand in this game simply because they have shown resilience, that they drawn that Test match despite, against all odds. Now they would have a mindset that, yes, we can do it, we can win. So they are going with that mindset. And, Australia, I think they seem pretty down at the end of the day. Day 5 of the 3rd Test match. So I think it's just going to be who show mental toughness to achieve the victory for their team.
Sure. Before I move to Sajjad, I have a few comments on it. So Peer Abuzar is saying, Sabis, okay. Zubair is saying, good job, Mazhar, good show. Thank you. But who's Mazhar here? There is no Mazhar here. Okay, Bashad, great panel, excellent discussion, guys. Sabis, this is for you. Look, we never received this comment till now in last 3 weeks. As soon as you join our panel, people are saying, great panel, excellent discussion, guys. Thank you. Okay, Assalamu alaikum, Saman Majid saying, nice, thanks for watching my show. Yes, Sajjad bhai.
Which topic?
Which topic? Sri Lanka, India, Australia right now for next 15-20 minutes.
Okay.
Last Test match.
Yeah.
Yes,
sir. Every time I have said I don't think India can win this test, they seem to do the opposite. So I'm going to do it again, 3rd time lucky. India has no chance in this test. That's my prediction.
But this is like too early to say right now. I have different things to discuss, right? It's too early to say.
Because they don't have their main bowling.
That's what I was going to talk about, right? That
without Bumrah
about their bowling
and Ashwin, they are going to really struggle. You know what? I'll be speechless if they're able to get these guys out for less than 300. And if they do, I think even Australia will be a bit speechless, because on the first day of a Gabba Test match, Australia is infamous for getting in, seeing off the new ball, and then scoring, especially on the second day,
Yeah.
and then
So just,
pounding
I
the
think
other
they're already 2 down or something.
They already
Yeah,
are
so
down 22.
are they already 2 down? So then they're
Yes, Farrukh.
Max, like your title today, right? The cool Australia and was the other one?
Injured Australia, injured India.
Right?
Yeah,
It looks like right now looks like it's a hot India and confused Australia.
yeah. Right.
Maybe, I think it's reversed.
Frustrated Australians. Frustrated
Yeah.
Australians.
So Kaisar bhai, what do you think that, as Sajjad said, that he's not confident enough? I mean, Bumrah, yes, he's supporting, but I think, do you think like Siraj will lead this in test match? I mean, if you see like, I think Washington Sundar is new guy, Shardul Thakur is new guy, I think Natarajan, I think he's doing debut. Do you think that they are confident enough?
I believe they have the skills, but the problem is the experience. They are all lack. There's no depth experience. When we talk Bumrah, why we talk Bumrah and give him so much respect? He's an attacking bowler, and he was bowling with a less than 1.5 runs per over in all the tests he played in like all 3 tests. That's the big difference for new guy to contain and to attack with that much of skills. It'll be very hard. Absolutely, Sajjad said it. Like, they will be struggling, and that experience comes in when once you have a bigger partner, like a partnership of 100 or bigger. That's where the bowlers starting to slack. They're exposed them, and this will be Indians. Their tail is up. They're mentally very up now. Because they draw that test up against all the odds, so they are very much in a very good confidence. It will be a good test, I believe. We'll see.
Sure.
And they got
Martin,
the wickets. They got the wickets. This is big for India.
this is big. Yeah. Martin, do you think like in couple of years time, like when people talk about cricket, they talk about Ashes. Do you think that the next time they are going to compare India Australia series as compared to Ashes in next couple of years? The way it's neck to neck and competition going.
Well, more matches like this, then you got a good chance. I mean, it's already up there, isn't it? I think maybe it's getting better because it's getting more competitive, right? We want to see, even the Ashes got a bit boring for a while there when Australia were beating England every series, right?
Martin,
Very boring.
Interesting. Bring on India, Pakistan.
That's what I'm saying. Right now, we talk about India, Pakistan like it doesn't happen anymore, and it's something from a cricket match on Downton Abbey.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the Ashwin's tweet?
What did he say?
He said that we did not play against Pakistan from so long, so we have to play like a kind of a rivalry, and we were feeling that against Australians.
Australia, yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, Ashwin must be happy there's no Afridi in Australia.
Correct. Okay, guys, let's talk about this test match. Martin, share your thoughts on four test match. Do you think like importance of 5th test match is missing in current test matches series, or 4 series of 4 test matches are good enough to make it?
I mean, 4's better than 3. 5's better than 4. I mean, it's hard, right? Because you look at England and Sri Lanka, it's 2 test matches.
Sri
Lanka's
matches.
all out for 135, and suddenly you think, oh no, that's not an easy test series to come back. I mean, 4's good. 4's good when it's close, and it's terrible when it's not. If it's 4-0 to Australia, I don't want a 5th test match, but so it's really hard. I mean, I think all series should be at least 3, if not 4. That's a good amount. Then you're going to have the odd draw, so it's perfect. 4, you're going to have a decider. It's lined up perfectly for a winner, right? So
sure.
I think it's great.
Okay, so Martin, what Australia gonna do this time to make Sajjad bhai? I think Sajjad was supporting India and Kaisar bhai was supporting Australia. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes.
No, I'm always supporting Australia, but they've disappointed me this series.
I think Australia's gonna.
Yes, Martin.
I think Australia are gonna have one big innings here, so I don't know if it's not looking. I mean, you've still got Smith and Labuschagne. If one, like Smith's so good, he's going to get back in. They're going to have one big innings. The question is, can India have a big innings as well? Because they're going to have to bat last. So, I mean, my money's still on Australia.
For sure. Okay. So,
Brisbane.
Dan bhai, Sure, it's
Yes.
Brisbane. So Tanbay, as Martin said, it's Brisbane. What do you think? Is spinners gonna play the role, or again the quickies? I think Brisbane was used to be the first test matches in Australia all of the time, but I don't know why they changed these grounds. Maybe
Mhm.
there's a tactical solution. What do you think? The Brisbane will play a critical role, like as compared to bowling?
Yes, yes, it is. So let me start with the facts, right? So first off, see, as compared to any other pitch anywhere else, this pitch has the most bounce of 88 centimeter over the stumps. So there's no, I mean, other ground that has such a bounce. So of course that's what pace is going to be helpful. The real key here is if you look at the pitch, it already has patches. It's already very dried. There's evidence. I think Josh is gonna like this word. There's evidence of cracks, and also there's a big crack in the middle. So, and that is the day first. And there's 32 degrees. Yes, there's gonna be rain, but it's gonna be covered, so it's gonna crack quick. Yes, the spinner as compared to Sydney, I think spinners would take a lot of advantage day 4 and 5. Again, that is based on the pitch. Now, both sides, if you compare the bowling attack, look, since there's bounce, both sides have the tall pacers. Natharanjan is very tall. Siraj is tall. I know Tucker is not that tall, but he has some pace. So, and Saini is also fast bowler. Yes, a big drawback would be that
Bumrah.
big drawback would be that we don't have Ashwin, not Bumrah, because they have pace. Yes, Bumrah is being very economical, but equally, I mean, other attackers are going to cover him because four bowlers are going to somewhat cover him, but spin is missing. So, giving these facts, and plus Australia did not lose here since 1988.
Correct.
And the highest chase here is 237, and that was in 1951. So keep these facts in mind. And day 5 game is very important on this pitch. And big disadvantage to India is that they lost the toss. So
Okay.
whoever was gonna bat first, they would have advantage. So I'm gonna leave it, and we'll continue the conversation coming days.
So Sultan, bhai, whatever the facts you are is like or stats you are sharing, just keep it for. I mean, for you, like because it's gonna support you on 5th day, right? Not
I have a
Well,
question. I have a quick question. The
yes,
pitch
sir.
looks pretty dry. Just don't see any grass or anything. What do you guys think about this pitch?
Yeah,
It's
like I was
always, I
saying,
believe.
yeah, like I was saying, it is bouncy because it's mostly dry. But today, first day, usually there's no evidence of cracks, but they already have cracks. So this is surprising to me.
Okay. Aamir, do you think like no Bumrah, no Ashwin? I mean, all of these bowlers are very new. Only even Siraj, I think he get debut in this series, and he's the one who is like people know his name. Do you think that this bowling will survive against Australian batting?
Well, one thing you have seen in the past with good teams like England and Australia, that whenever you get a chance in a competitive space and you have to perform to keep your space, then you actually perform better, right? So I think Natranjan, he was there just as a net bowler, right? Like he was bowling in the nets only. Now he gets the chance to bowl for India. I don't think he should miss the chance. I don't know how competitive he is. I haven't seen him bowl before, except for T20. So the red ball is a little different, as we all know. I don't know how good he would be, but I think he would try his best because that's how you get into Test squad, right?
Correct.
His
Vajat,
his
yes,
fitness will be tested.
Exactly.
everyone, I think, all even
Yeah,
Shardul Thakur, I think he's more a test match. I think he's more T20 bowler, but I think his fitness is also going to test it. That's
yeah,
it.
yeah. So the thing for the pace bowlers, see, it's very hard to get the LBWs here because of the
Mm.
bounce, and they cannot ball full because it's kind of dry. So they're gonna get hit. So it's gonna when they have to come ball, it's gonna be later in the days. But as of today, it should have been batting wicket, but apparently it looks like they got a break early. I'm talking about India, but let's see where it goes. But it should be a big scoring game.
Sure. So, Vajad, as President said that you have great in-depth knowledge, do you think that the way new see Indian batsmen like Shubman Gill and other people like they performed. Even Rahane, they came from the shell and become a captain, and no Rohit Sharma on the second test match. Do you think that this bowling will survive?
Okay, I have three things to share. First of all, Australia has to save the series and the trophy if they have to win this test match. So that gives a huge pressure on Australia. They missed the chance in Sydney. Secondly, if you see the first 12 overs, Australia looked tired. I mean, they're mentally exhausted. Look at them; they're not even running for twos. So that's the second point. And number three, what does it leave for India? All India needs to do is to ensure that it keeps on their prayers are answered and it keeps on raining good for 2 days. And Australia, even if they bat once, India does not bat twice. India, if they're able to play out 110, 120 overs, India in this game, I think they'll be in a good position at the end of the series. Australia would be kicking themselves missing Sydney. I'm telling you, mark my words, day 3, day 4, Australia would be kicking. They have missed this chance of getting the Border Gavaskar series, and they would be losing the series from here on. Even if it is 1-1, who cares? Australia loses the series. India only has to gain, Australia has to lose.
But
and not
Australian players, they heard you. They stimulus may just hit 2 4s. So keep talking against them, and they're gonna keep.
Yes, go ahead.
Not to mention Vajah's point that India has some fresh legs in this match too.
Sure. Before I come, I have a question for Kaisar Bhai. Vajad, whenever we say, I have to share something, I thought about Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Yes, Kaisar Bhai, what do you think what's going to do for Australia in order to survive this test match, the first inning total?
They have to score 375 plus.
Do you think that they're going to do from here?
They need only one big inning, Smith, Labuschagne, or whoever's coming, but they have to. If they have to win this test or to get closer to win, they have to score 375 plus.
Okay, so I think that's my last question. I'm gonna ask, take one by one opinion on it, and then we will close the show because we have to do the set for the day 2 as well. Yes, Farrukh bhai, today you are so quiet. Would you share some 2 cents on Australian batting?
Why 2 cents? When I'll share $2.
Please go ahead.
No, it's it looks good. I'm happy for the players from India who made the debut, because from India making a debut is a big deal because they have a huge backup and bench. So maybe just luck on their side. So the 2 players and very young players, they're making debut. Good luck to them. Australia, this is their home ground, and they will not be because there's a lot of criticism for them to not winning the last test. So they will gonna go all out, and looks like they're gonna keep scoring. And the way Smith is playing today, he is looking in excellent form. So let's see. This could be a good battle for Indian bowlers, to show their mettle and make the name for themselves.
Can you please mention the number, how much they are gonna score in first inning, if you don't mind, please?
Well, I don't know, but the way it's going right now, and if Labuschagne and then they look pretty set, it's gonna be depending on today. But I see they're comfortably looking for something around 350 in the first inning.
350. Okay. Yes, Aamir, you spanning these today a lot. I don't know why, but this. What do you guys think? They're gonna score 300 again? Because I'm gonna take them.
Yeah, they probably would score more than 300 if you look at their results for the past. I think since 1988, the last time they lost a test match at Brisbane was against West Indies, and after that they have won handsomely on this track. The 2 close games were against the Asian teams. Once with India and once with Pakistan, where our Lionel Messi actually, I don't know what he was doing, what he was thinking. He was standing outside the crease and he got run out, 39 runs short to win the test match. But I think this is going to be a close game if rain does not give in.
Oh, you thinking? Okay. I mean, let's talk about it. Because I don't think so. It will be a close game, but we will discuss this. I think third day when it's going. Yes, Martin. What do you think? Australia gonna score 300 this time?
No. I guess high 200s, 280, 290. I don't know. Look at the series. Not many big scores so far. So I don't know. Get Smith out, and you're well on your way to knocking the rest over. Just get the double century, then that's another story.
Okay. Yes, Sajjad bhai, do you think that for Australia, they're gonna score like 350 runs, or they're gonna take that time and bat till at least lunch and tea for second day in order to use of fifth day? Because if they're gonna out in before lunch, trust me, this test match not gonna last fifth day after lunch.
Yeah, I don't think they're thinking about batting a certain number of sessions. I think right now they just want to get through this first session and have some wickets in hand, because the Brisbane pitch, it gets better for batting the first afternoon and the second day. If they can get through today with a loss of less than, not more than 3 wickets, that's what their goal is going to be. And then tomorrow, then they'll start thinking like you're thinking, because then it's better to bat in Brisbane on the second day. And like Sultan Bhai said, it's a lot of times the bowlers are unable to get LBWs because of the bounce. So as long as they're able to negotiate the cuts and the pulls and be careful about that, I think they can score big. Now, to the point that will Steve Smith bat? Well, when his nemesis is not there.
Okay. So Kasser bhai, okay, let's take your input on it. How much they gonna score?
I said they will be targeting 375 plus, but I think they will be close at least to 325.
And do you gonna think they're gonna survive till lunch tomorrow?
I believe yes.
Okay, that's good. Okay, yes, Sultan bhai. Thoughts on thoughts on in this Indian bowling. What do you think that what they are capable enough to bowl out Australian what total?
Well, they have potential to, they have already proven that, right? They got 2 early wickets. But I would like to say that today, Australia won't be worried about scoring too many runs. Today's goal would be just to save as many wickets so that they can utilize it second day. So, yeah, they want to score more than 350 or what, but I'm not so sure they're gonna get there in the first inning. However, today India is gonna take all advantage to at least take 5 wickets today, and if they did, they will retain them under 300 for sure.
Okay, welcome back, Jeff.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good. What do you think? Weak Australian batting this time? I mean, no, Warner has got out. I mean, and then everyone is talking about they are not that like showing energy in this game. Do you think like they are tired, or like back-to-back third and fourth test match is like within 72 or 96 hours?
Yeah, you know what? The last test might have drained them. Like, what were they, a day and a half in the field, and they were trying everything to try and get the wickets, and it just wasn't happening. Like, that can affect you mentally as well as physically. So, and then them getting 2 quick wickets in the first 5 overs or 6 overs is huge for them, for the momentum on their behalf. So
Okay, we lost Jeff.
I have a question. Like, why you guys feel like Australia is not showing any energy? What do you guys want? Like, jump there, they keep jumping around the field, and taking quick singles and all that. This is a test match. They're batting, right? I don't know. Like, can you define me? Anybody like to define like what is the measurement that's telling you like, okay, Australia is down and Australia is not very energetic? Anyone?
I think that somebody was talking about them not running the quick twos.
Well, I was of the opinion when I saw Warner and Harris being a new guy. He didn't play the last test.
Yeah.
But look at him, the way he got out.
Yeah,
a lazy stroke. I mean, that's something you should be playing underneath your eyes. And also, sorry, okay.
Yeah. So because Sajjad, the running quick 2 singles would be is because Warner was injured. He's in the recovery, so they don't want to pull him, up front early in the inning. I think that.
But I'm not counting on running as a factor to consider. But if you look at the way they're playing the stroke, that's what I'm saying. But I wanted to make a comment with Max asking the last question. I believe Wade is the key for Australia to get to 350, because either one of them gets out now and you lose Wade quickly, Australia is not getting 300. So there's a lot of pressure on him. He's not performed. He's on the mic right now speaking to the commentators. I think Wade is the key for Australia to go past 300.
But I think at the same time is this Steven Smith, right? The way look at like how he's playing, right?
Yeah, he's playing nicely.
Almost,
I know Farrukh, he's one of your favorite players. I know he's like, you like him.
No, I like him. He's like one of the top players right now. But it's like he's carrying the whole Australian team in his shoulder, pretty much.
Yeah.
But I just don't like just not Vijay, just kidding. It's like I don't see like the Australia is like lazy and all that. What do you guys want, man?
Aamir, you answer that. Aamir can answer that.
We want them to get out like playing Afridi strokes.
Yeah.
You know, that's what we want. We want them to hit every single ball for 4 or a 6.
Guys,
that's how you get audience.
This is not Marvels and Dolphins playing, man. This is Australia and India playing.
Oh man, shots fired. Okay, guys, anyone has something to say about this test match, England test match, before we sign off and catch up tomorrow?
Yeah, whatever you guys want to say it now. Don't say it after we sign off.
Yeah, I got a final stat for you.
Yeah,
Australia bowlers have taken 1,013 wickets combined. India bowlers 13 wickets. So they're only 1,000 wickets ahead.
Wait, let Jeff. Wait, Jeff is here. That's very interesting fact, man.
Martin, do share that tomorrow if Australia does not cross 300. I'm telling you.
Exactly, be impressive.
Not because they're lazy, they just because they could not play.
Just one question out of curiosity. What do you guys think? Is Saini going to perform in this test match?
Yes, he will.
Is Saini?
Yes.
Yeah, you think so?
He'll be better than the last test.
Hey man, Ranjit Saini is retired.
Okay, Jeff, are you here? Or are you still facing technical issue?
I think he's facing technical issues.
Just like Australia, Jeff is also facing technical issues.
Yeah, Jeff is pretty lazy too today. Not any energy.
Sure. Okay, guys, I think let's take a sign off. But Martin, good style you shared. I think these are the things that why our show is unique and why our show is like people are watching on day-to-day basis, that anyone can bring any stats that which can surprise the other people, right? And that's a very good thing. Jeff, yes. So Jeff, before we go, did you hear what Martin shared the stats 5 minutes ago?
Sorry, bad feed, Max. This is terrible.
No worries. We are just almost sign off in within 2 more minutes.
Thank goodness. I think he just gave it to the Aussies, probably.
No. He mentioned the stats. The total number of wickets in this Australian bowling lineup, they took 1,013 wickets, 1013. And the total number of Indian bowlers in this lineup, they took 13 wickets. So 1,000 wickets ahead of Australia right now. Do you still believe that Australia gonna win this test match? Jeff, can you hear us?
That's a 5-day question, my friend.
Okay, I think let's take a sign off on this. Good enough.
That's what I started. When I said it, it's a lack of experience. I believe that will gonna hurt India. That's the modern shares, eh?
Let's see. That's a good, interesting fact. Farrukh, can you put me on solo? I think I cannot do. Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you, everyone. Being a part of our show as a guest, as a panelist, sharing stats, discussing ABC things, and having a good chit chat at every evening. And then definitely we are gonna talk about tomorrow for second day for both test matches, one at the Galle and another at the Brisbane as well. I would like to say thanks to our sponsors, Arsenic Sports. If you want to buy any equipment or any sports equipment, uniforms, helmets, and anything, please contact Sultan by 646-461-3110. And email ID is, I think phone number is 647-461-3110. Definitely we're gonna correct it. And email address is info@rsexsports.com. Our second sponsor of the day is Mohammad Ramiz, your Honda guy. If you want to buy any Honda car, new or used, please contact him with the reference of Sports Trend. You're gonna definitely get some discount. 416-569-7249. And our last sponsor of the day is Fazan Law. As President said, he has a great in-depth analysis. That's what he said, expanding our expertise because you matter to us. Please contact him 905-277-2555. On this note, guys, see you tomorrow.